Hey everyone, so this video was all good to go until the massive update slash refresh that dropped for Star Wars Legion the other day. Now that the ATRT remains mostly unchanged, but this video has been updated for future proofing. So essentially, if you picked up an ATRT today, from like the 24th, 25th of July 2024 onwards, this guide is perfect for use, alright? So just some quick things to note. Displacement doesn't exist anymore, and every vehicle unit can perform a free 90-degree pivot on its activation. Let's start the video. Welcome back to another Star Wars Legion video. Having covered both the commander and core units that come in the starter boxes, we are now going to cover the support units, starting with the Rebels all-terrain reconnaissance transport. Without further ado, we'll be starting with a painting guide followed by a rules breakdown. So I had a slight little issue when I was building my Rebel AT-RT. As you might have already spotted, it didn't have another one of these flat foot pieces for the build. So I built my own out of sprue. It's 4 different bits of sprue all glued together, but I'm hoping it doesn't look too bad and it kind of just looks like a ramshackled foot. Being that the Rebels, a lot of the stuff they use is fashioned from the Empire or used from other purposes. Hopefully, it doesn't look too odd. But yeah, let's go ahead and prime this guy and get him ready for painting. But I just thought I'd let you know that there might be a chance in the early starter sets that you might not actually get all the pieces you need. Okay, so now that the ATRT is now primed, I'm going to go ahead and start painting this guy up. So first things first, I'm going to use some of this silver right here, lead belcher actually, by Citadel, on just all the legs, on the back, on the all the machinery parts, honestly, including the gun, stuff like that. So we're just going to do a nice base coat of just that kind of metallic grey over all metallic parts. So we put a good lathering of that grey paint all over all the mechanical parts. So next thing I'm going to do is just give it a good once over in Nuln Oil to put all the details back in all the crevices. So that's going to be our next step. I'll let the wash dry a little bit on the metallics. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put a nice coat of Cadian flesh tone just on the face here of the Rebel. I think that's the only part of the actual model that's exposed skin. So we're just going to, like I said, do a nice coat of that. And then I'm going to put some Death Guard green on all the panels. So the front panel, the panels near the footrests, and I think that's all the panels, but yeah. So yes, I'm just going to do a nice good once over on all of that. Next step, as we continue to put a couple more layers on the green on the front, is I'm going to completely color the clothes brown. So I'm going to be using Blood Reaver Flesh, and we're just going to be doing a full full brown coat on all of it. We will be painting different parts of the uniform differently once it's all done, but for now, just going to make sure it's got completely brown coat all over it. Now that's done, we're going to be painting the backpack using Bugman's Glow, which will give it a nice contrasting look to the other browns that's already on the model here. So yep, Bugman's Glow on the backpack, and then after that we are going to be dunking the whole gun into Black Templar contrast paint to give it a nice black finish on there as well. Next, I'm going to put some Reichland Flesh Shade over the entire brown model. So that's going to be all the clothes, the backpack, and also the face. I'm hoping this turns out okay, but it'll definitely give us some shadows and some more stuff to work on after that. Now I'm going to paint this ATRT in actually the picture that's shown on the card. So as you can see here, it is like a whole bunch of grays on the front. So we are going to use some lead belcher once again to just block in the front panels, and then keep a little bit of green in those inner parts, but like the recesses, you know. But we're going to put grey all over the edges of this one. Once the shade is dry, we are going to put some XV88 or some like yellowish brown just on the uniforms or the raised areas to kind of bring it up a little bit. And then once that's done over the whole body, not including the boots, mind you, because we're going to color the boots in black a little bit later, just go ahead and put some metallic silver over the front hat guard, I guess you could call it here. As you can see, here's an example of how I painted my other rebels. So I'm just going to put some stuff over that to make it kind of look a little bit in uniform. So yeah, go ahead and do that now. Okay, so it's coming together. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to focus on the face. So it has its base paint down now, and we've also added some shade to it. So we're just going to get a lighter skin tone, and using a small brush, just bring it up a little bit, bring up all the flesh tones on that one. Now they've got a little bit more detail on the face. Next thing is we're going to be coloring in his belt and also his two boots as well. It's going to be coloring them both black. Great. The next order of business, I'm going to be putting some Cyberite green all over the base. So we're going to use that as our basis. I believe I used Cyberite green, some lighter green, and some sponging of brown on these other ones. So we're just going to be doing that. And I also think I might color the front cone into a lighter, almost yellow, I think. But first things first, definitely making sure that Cyberite green is all over that base. And now we add auric flesh onto the base as well. As shown before, we're going to try and aim to get this looking like the other bases. Next, we add in some darker green like Citadel's Wave Flesh while the paint is still wet to kind of mix it all in. And lastly, for the base, we're going to add some very bright green like Moot Green while everything's still wet once again to blend it all in and add a little bit of transparency into it that as well. Now, as you can find out in the upgrades section of this video, a lot of the weapons that the ATRT uses are actually in the front cone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some bright orange just in the very faint line. That way it is super duper easy to see where I need to measure from in the game. And there you have it. Now you have a fully painted ATRT for your rebels. Personally, this is where I'm going to let it slide. Of course, could always fix up some of the blacks here, blah, blah, blah. But I'm very happy with the turnout. So now this is definitely tabletop ready. And okay, yeah, I guess that is bugging me. The last thing we're going to do is just put some black around the base edge now. Once that's done, this guy's ready for war pretty much. And we will go straight ahead to the breakdown and have a chit chat about the ATRT and its best options. The Rebel ATRT is a 50 points support unit that has 2 upgrade slots, Hardpoint and Comms. It's a 1 model unit with 6 health and 4 resilience. Resilience replaces courage for vehicle units. When your ATRT has a number of wounds equal to your resilience value, which is 4, after resolving that effect that caused this, gain a vehicle damage token. When you activate a vehicle unit that has a damage token, roll a white defense dice. If your result is blank, then you perform 1 fewer actions on your activation. Vehicles can only have 1 vehicle damage token at a time and once per game, even if you heal your resilience and then gain damage past your resilience again. The ATRT has Surge to Crit for attack and Surge for defense, and is a 2-speed unit. Vehicle units move differently than standard trooper units and must adhere to their notched bases. When moving, make sure that your movement tool is snugly inside the notched part from part of your base. Vehicles have a few other need-to-know features when it comes to movement too. Vehicle units can perform a reverse movement where you place your movement tool inside the rear notch of the base. When you reverse, you also reduce your movement speed by 1 to a minimum of 1 speed. Many weapons on vehicles rely on front-facing and rear-facing cones to where the model is located, so vehicle units can pivot on the spot up to 90 degrees of where it's located. The AT-RT has two baked-in weapons that we will cover now. Firstly, it has a non-range melee attack, grappling claws. 3 red attack dice with impact 1 means that getting your AT-RT into close quarters with an opponent's armored vehicle could be a viable strategy. Just remember your white defense dice. One thing to remember about vehicles is that they can participate in melee, but they can never be engaged, so to speak, with another unit while doing so. The AT-RT's second weapon is the 1 to 3 range 2 white attack dice A300 blaster rifle. Think of the AT-RT's operator leaning off the controls with their rifle, firing across the battlefield with 360-degree range. The 2 white attack dice are the thing to be worried about with this attack, so perhaps a weapon upgrade is in order, something we will check out shortly. In terms of keywords, the AT-RT has 4. Armor 2 keyword grants the opportunity to cancel 2 standard hit results while defending. Climbing vehicle allows the AT-RT to perform vertical movement like a standard trooper unit. The expert climber upgrade means that you don't need to roll dice or suffer wounds from clambering vertical terrain, giving the AT-RT an edge in vertical mobility compared to most other vehicles. Scout 1 allows this unit to perform a free 1 speed move action when it activates, regardless of terrain. Scout can never exceed a speed 3 move regardless of upgrades. Let's cover upgrades now. Hardpoint upgrades are vehicle-specific extra weapons. The AT-RT has 3 options: the flamethrower, the laser cannon, and the rotary blaster. The AT-RT flamethrower is a 15-point, 1-range weapon that uses 2 black attack dice. It ignores cover with blast, has to be fired inside your front arc on your base, and spray allows you to add 2 black attack dice for each of your defending opponent's minis that are in line of sight. This makes the flamethrower a pretty devastating weapon if your opponent doesn't have great defensive positions. The AT-RT laser cannon is a 10-point hardpoint weapon with 2 to 4 range and 1 red and 2 black attack dice. Once again, this is fixed front, so make sure your target is located in your front cone. This weapon also has impact 3, allowing the changing of 3 hit results to crit results. The laser cannon is a nice choice if your enemy has an armor-heavy list. The third and final upgrade is the 20-point AT-RT rotary blaster. This weapon is the most expensive choice and is once again a fixed front weapon. 1 to 3 range and 5 black attack dice makes this weapon actually the most reliable of the 3 for general purpose, especially considering the AT-RT's inbuilt surge to crit for its attack pools. The nice thing is that your 3 options fill very different roles. Flamethrower for trooper heavy opponents, laser cannon for great range and strong against vehicle heavy opponents, and rotary blaster giving a great handful of dice for general purpose usage. I would absolutely recommend bringing at least one of these weapons though. 50 points for a 2 white dice range attack is rough. Let's talk comms upgrade. The starter set comes with the long range comlink. For 5 points, the long range comlink allows you to receive your orders regardless of range from your commander unit. AT-RT's standalone expansion comes with long range comlink, as we previously discussed, and comms jammer. Comms jammer is 5 points and stops your enemies from receiving order tokens while they're in range 1 of your comms jammer unit. This could be useful for finishing off a wounded unit with your flamethrower or melee, while ensuring that you can move first provided you yourself received an order token. Honestly, I don't know. Either of these are fine. Totally your choice of whatever you may think would be useful for your list. And that covers the AT-RT. Thank you very much if you made it this far, and you can now successfully use every rebel unit that came with your core box. So go forth and thwart any evil empires you can. Next Legion video, we'll be covering the Republic support unit, the Bark Speeder, a unit I've become very familiar with over my Legion career. appearing on my rival Android's Republic team countless times. Hope to see you in the next video, everyone. Goodbye.